Well, let's start talking about the loves of Peter Parker's life. Betty Brant. Betty Brant was his high school little sweetheart, who apparently was also his stalker, as far as I was able to figure out, because there ain't much information about her. She would eventually break up with him because she thought he was more interested in another girl. She would date Flash Thompson, drop out of school to replace her mom as J. Jonah Jameson's secretary. So apparently for a while there, his the secretary job for J. Jonah Jameson was kind of a family thing. It was at the Daily Bugle that she would meet her future husband, Ned Leeds. Now, this is why this discussion is so interesting to me. Because these girls, dating Peter Parker, not the greatest thing on the planet. Because this girl, her husband, would be framed as being the original Hobgoblin, who would later, he would be killed by assassins. But Betty got her revenge later when she helped Spider-Man capture the real Hobgoblin. So, other than that, that's basically Betty. Now we're going to talk about probably one of the most famous characters in Spider-Man's thing, Gwen Stacy. Not Spider-Gwen. Not Gwenpool. No, not that. We're talking not the fucking clone Gwen. Not even the clone Gwen. We're going to talk about the original Gwen Stacy, the one he met in college. So Peter Parker. I'll talk about Spider-Man. We are, but we aren't. So Peter Parker met Gwen Stacy. They had a thing. They had a thing for a while. Gwen Stacy would eventually see, in a battle with Dr. Octopus, Spider-Man and him Dr. Octopus would smash something, and in what I'm thinking, if I remember right, in a heroic fashion, Captain George Stacy of the New York Police Department, Gwen's dad, sacrificed himself to save someone, and he's the one that got killed. Alright, this is the beginning of my issues. This is why I hate Peter Parker. Because what happens next is Gwen hates Spider-Man because, it's Spider-Man's fault, despite the fact he was fighting Dr. fucking Octopus. Peter Parker is, it's all my fault. Woe is me. Everything's my fault. It's my fault I couldn't save that fly from dying. It's my fault. And this is basically the Parker guilt fucking where it starts freaking pissing me off. Because right after that, she tries to get him to propose to her. She doesn't know he's Spider-Man. He knows he's Spider-Man. And he should have known that while yes, this happened to someone, it's like other characters have had the same kind of thing happen, where they're fighting someone important, someone dies that has something important to do with someone else. But here's Peter Parker. He avoids the people. He completely shuts everyone out because it's all about Peter Parker. It's all his fault. I'm Peter Parker, and if you're dying, it's my fault. Now, some people would see this as, I don't know what the word is, but he's trying to shoulder the blame and blah, blah, blah. I see it as he's being a fucknut. I'm sorry, he's being a fucknut. I don't know why they constantly write him like this. And it even gets better with what happens next, because she goes to Europe, since he's not going to ask her to marry him. She goes to Europe, comes back, Green Goblin kidnaps her. Norman Osborn, I have to emphasize that. Norman Osborn kidnaps her, takes her to a bridge, and they duke it out. Spider-Man dukes it out with him. He throws her off the bridge. Spider-Man, because Peter Parker's a brilliant guy, hits her foot with a web, and her neck snaps from the shock. With everything this guy is capable of. I understand. It's like he literally just, from what it looks like, I never read the thing. I never read the book. But from all the pictures I have seen, he watches her fall. Instead of like what he even does in Amazing 2 and jumping and trying to catch her or do something, he freaking shoots a web and immediately like just hold on to it, and the shocks. It's like, really? And then he's fucking, oh, this is all my fault. It's my fault. And it's like, dude, you're not even. The fact that you did something stupid, yes, that's your fault. But you're not. You're acting. Sometimes he just acts. Depending, and this is another thing. Depending on who's writing the thing, he blames Norman for it, or he blames himself. And Norman's taunting him because, oh, this is your fault, Or sometimes he's, ha 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 ha, remember that time I threw Gwen off the bridge? Good times. God, fuck that. Fuck this. Fuck the Peter Parker thing. Mary Jane Watson, the one who we're introduced to in the books, as she's getting hooked up with by Aunt May, in that classic scene of she tells him he just hit the jackpot. He calls him Tiger. Mary Jane, let's emphasize this. Mary Jane has put up with so much fucking shit. She's the longest term girlfriend he's ever had. Even married her. She thought the fact what happened to Gwen she grew up. Peter didn't. Peter didn't grow up from the whole Gwen Stacy incident. She grew up. She's like, okay, I have to be more responsible, blah, blah, blah. Pete never did. Peter never fucking grows up in any of these fucking books. Never. He doesn't learn from his mistakes. He makes the same mistakes, and it's like it's always the pity. It's always a pity party. How many fucking times does he? Let's just look. You want to know how he keeps making? Where my proof is that he keeps making mistakes. He keeps ending up with a black suit. He keeps going into his angsty, black suit, the black suit, whenever it's not attached to Venom. And yeah, Tobey Maguire's take on Peter Parker was definitely the best one, because it's always, why did you do that? Jane has put up with all of his shit, with all his villains, with all his cosmic disappearances and fucking what not. This woman deserved so much better than what she got, than what she settled for. She even got, for a time, she even had a freaking modeling career, which I'm not even going to get into movie MJ because freaking hell, she had a modeling career. She gave that up for him. She suffered through a miscarriage, which was apparently it was me, Parker. It was me, Norman Osborn all along, Parker. Stop. So she had a miscarriage, and she did the best she could to move from that. Of course, that was Peter's fault because, oh no, my irradiated cum has caused my child to die. And it's like, dude, the fact that you were even able to get this close to having a kid with that irradiated spider cum is remarkable. I'm not saying you should feel better because of that, I'm just saying. But yeah, so after all this, we get what happens to that relationship. Well, he eventually announces, because Peter Parker's a moron, that he's Spider-Man. Now, this works out great for Tony Stark. Why? He's rich. He's well-armed. He's freaking able to... he's basically Big Brother at this point, I think, where he just... Camera. Peter Parker's none of that. Peter Parker is it's like smarter than most kid who even in his adult life never grows up, is still irresponsible, can't hold down a job. Like, even when he had a job, it's like I understand this need to balance a life, and when you're a superhero of that, and how you feel obligated. And part of that kind of goes, my complaint goes into everybody being in New York. Everybody's based in New York. There's an Avenger right across, an Avengers button right around the corner from every goddamn shop and grocery store and bank. Now, and he, like I said, and this is, I'll get to this on number 4. But anyway, so Aunt May gets shot because Kingpin wanted to have him shot. So he goes everywhere. He goes to every doctor in the Marvel universe, and none of them can do it, despite their being able to create mechanical arms, despite being able to create cosmic anomalies and all their thing about magic and everything else. None of them know how to cure a bullet wound. Idiots. So anyway, so he goes to what accounts to the Marvel Devil. The Marvel Devil goes, oh yeah, I'll help your aunt out, but for a price. What's this price? I want your marriage. Could you tell this writer was a complete fucking lazy piece of shit and was just going for the simplest denominator? So So what happens? He spends one more day with Mary Jane. Mary Jane tells him that Aunt May lived a good life and blah blah blah. Aunt May tells him she led a good life, just let her go. And wouldn't you know it? Yep, that fucking Peter Parker guilt trip. Those fucking woe is me, woe is the universe, can't freaking just let shit go. Peter Parker, when they finally meet back up with them, well, what does this fucking shithead do? I agree to your terms. Fucking pissing off Mary Jane and everything else. Mary Jane made a... And just to fucking... So how does... What does happen to Mary Jane? So the marriage is over. They go back in time. Nobody remembers who he is. He's back to being loser Parker. And all this other shit. Aunt May's still alive, thank frickin' Christ. And Mary Jane was in her infinite stupidity, made a deal that Peter Parker, Mr. Parker Luck, Mr. Parker filled self-pity, the Parker guilt trip, would freaking choose her over keeping his gilf. What did she get? After this, what do the writers get? So, does she get to live a good life? Does she get to forget about Parker? No. Does she maybe have a modeling career? Marry a guy, live happily ever after? She gets put into a going nowhere life with a drunk as hell, beater wearing fat husband and a bunch of obnoxious kids. That's what you get. That's what you get when you fucking have a bunch of writers that are nothing but hacks. When you're the one character that put up with Parker's bullshit, all of his fucking bullshit, when she should have just told him, you know what, you're a fucking head case, find a psychiatrist, go and call me never. That's what she should have done. That's what she should have done. And the best part is, she remembers what Peter did to her. So it's like she's going, I don't know, I think they made up or something, if they even remembered that she existed in the comics, but I don't even care. The only person Peter Parker truly loves, the only person Peter Parker will ever do anything for, because Peter Parker is Norman fucking Bates. He will do anything. Aunt May. Why is Aunt not the hot one from Homecoming? This one. Yeah. This is the Aunt May. This is his perfect woman. An 80-some-year-old woman whose husband was killed because Peter didn't stop a guy earlier in the day, didn't know he would do this. So yeah, the only person that Peter will ever do anything with or anything for, he won't freaking do. He won't hurt her, he won't do anything, is freaking Aunt May. Fucking Aunt May. Who told him, I lived a good life, it's time to let go. And what does he do? No. He wants that gilf. He wants that old ass Roddy Mayo. That with all the dried up leathery. Ugh, makes me. Ugh. There. Sorry. Sorry, imagination went wild. Yeah. So, yeah. Yeah, he saved that man. He basically, Norman, this is so pathetic, because this is like, really, Peter Parker, why do people think Peter Parker's supposed to be this, oh, he can be anyone, and it's like, really? If anyone could be a guy who freaking, like this, he's so irresponsible. Like, he wants to help his aunt, but he can't hold on down a job. He gets a family, but he has to rely on Mary Jane. Mary Jane makes all the money because, again, he can't hold down a job because he gets a job, he starts becoming responsible, and then Jack Splack comes back. Oh no, Jack Splack's back in town. I have to go web swinging and face him. And he gets fired because he didn't do his job. So, yeah, you know, Parker means well, yeah, but he doesn't do well. That's the thing. Oh, God, I hope you enjoyed this little rant. Dear God, I'm going to go try to clean that disgusting image I put in my head. Good luck with that on your part. So, I'll see you in the next video, guys.